So welcome back to another instructional video. Today we're going to be looking at how to finish off mountains. I've already started with a couple of small mountain paintings, and these are really basic washes. So in the sky you can see just a basic grey and then various grey tones building forward. So you can see mountains here, 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 here and here. And then these tones are based around ultramarine with a touch of alizarin crimson. So just three colours are working out here. We've got grey, we've got a blue, and we've got obviously the red to make the purple. We have the same here as well, a similar setup. Now that's quite straightforward. You can see here these mountains look closer because they're darker in tone, whereas these mountains on the second one look further away because they're lighter in tone. So I just want to show you how we can work these up, because they're quite flat and basic at the moment, which would be okay if there was a bigger painting with more detail in the front. Now, three brushes I'm going to use are this squirrel mop brush from ProArt. It's got a really good point on it, as well as holding lots of liquid. There it is. This round brush, I think it's a Winsor & Newton round brush. It's got sable bristles, and a synthetic brush. This one's a number 6 Escoda. Also points very well and has lots of spring in it. Yep, the springs back and points well. So we can see when we put water to it. So they're the brushes I'm aiming to use. So let's get started then. So we'll work on this top one. I'm going to leave the sky as it is. I'm also going to leave the distant mountains as they are, because I don't want them darker. But I'm just going to bring in some darker tones. You can see here this is not working. It's too light in tone. You know, if there's going to be distance and going away, we want to make this darker. So all of these 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains are going to come forward more. I've got some leftovers in here. These leftovers, I'm just going to use 3 colours. This is yellow ochre, whichever way you want to pronounce it. We have ultramarine blue, just here, and next to that we've got some burnt umber. So the 3 together will make a nice grey. So obviously we put in warmer colours to warm it up, and the cool colours of this blue to darken it. As this is in the distance, we're going to go a bit darker or cooler in tone. So here we go. Let's just test that. Okay, that's going to do it. I'm also going to be quite careful in trying to leave some of these little highlights that kind of represent snow. There we go. Just come in with the other brush here just to get this a little bit finer or more control. Squirrel mops are great for big areas, but when you want to get to edges, sometimes I find it a little bit easier to just use this number 12. Now then, one thing I'm going to do here is just take out some of this liquid to create a touch of sort of highlights and give it a bit more form. You can see that. Well, imagine the lights coming this way. Okay, so cooler, darker down here, lighter over here. Next one we can put in again the same mixture. I'll just add a touch more of that leftovers there, but we're gonna warm this up slightly to what the one was before. Let's just try that. We're coming over this purple, and that will shine through as well. Doesn't matter if this blends and bleeds in here. Gonna get quite close up to the original. Let's just pop this in really fast. Coming out to the edge. I'm now on the tip of the brush, and I'm just, the liquid's running down, so I'm on the tip of the brush and just using the liquid that's running down out of the brush into this mixture to darken it. So still, it's quite interesting the way that this can do that, to make that a bit darker. And I've got two options. I could use a dryish kind of brush, clear brush, to do what I did before, to take out some where we're having a shadow, or I could use some tissue paper to do that. But while we've got the brush at hand, let's just take out just a touch there. That's still going to bleed back in anyway. Don't need to be too precise on that. So there we go. That's the second stage. Let's just clean that off a little bit. Third stage, we're going to, obviously when we get to this purple mountain, those are going to keep warm because it's coming forward. Here we need to go darker in tone now to this one if we want this to be in front. So this mountain is going to be in front of the right hand mountain. So it's the same three mixtures: yellow ochre, burnt umber, and the ultramarine blue. But we want to come a little bit darker. I'm going to add a touch of neutral tint. Neutral tint will mix with other colours. It doesn't come across as neutral tint, which will darken that mixture. So obviously, off we go again. And I'm actually going to warm this up a little bit as well. I can just see that this needs warming with this burnt umber to come in there. Warm it up as we come down. Again, just the tip of the brush, just to concentrate a bit here. I quite like this speckled effect that we have here because I move the brush across quite quickly. I'm just going to bring in some of that neutral tint, touch of the ultramarine, just to create a bit of variation. There we go, nice and dark in here. And that should blend and bleed because the paper's still wet with pigment, so this will blend into the colour that we had. Just going to take that out. It's a little bit too dark. There we go. And that was a touch of umber in there again, just to darken this with a touch of neutral tint. So along here. See how that's looking? That's looking quite good. Can take out with this clean brush. It's damp. A few touches here. Just popping it into the water and just squeezing out there. Just show you that there, just squeezing out some excess liquid. There we go. That's better in terms of highlights. And that will obviously blend back in and you get the kind of diffusion going on. Okay. Just take this back in here a little bit. I said I quite like the idea of the speckled part. I'm not too keen on it now. I think it makes it look less solid. Again, back in with the brush, dab in there. The paint will do the work. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay. One thing that's bothering me a little bit is here we've got a kind of run of darker liquid, so I'm just going to gently just take that out there. Don't want to go too mad. Good. So we've got lots of sharp edges with kind of the whites of the paper coming through, which kind of creates the illusion of light going in behind these mountains. We don't want that everywhere. We do need it to blend across like we have here, where it's a bit blurred. So you've got a mixture of sharp edges and blurred edges. And finally, on this mountain, I'm going to come across to this side. I'm using the same mixtures that we've used, just coming in a little bit warmer. So we've got our burnt umber, a yellow ochre, and our ultramarine. Might want a little touch of neutral tint. Let's just see how this is gonna work out in terms of tone, because we need this to be tonally darker, and it's not at the moment. Oh, that's better. It's kind of warmer, but we also need it to be darker, and this purple there will shine through in places. And you can see if I do a fast brush stroke, there are spaces underneath for the purple to shine through. Just come right the way here, probably bleed that in there. That's quite nice. Just touch up to the edge of here, not such a big a gap. Tiny little gap there. Some sort of headland coming through. There we go. Just going to vary this a little bit. That was a straight touch of ultramarine. This will be a straight touch of burnt umber. Closer to the front. And this will be a straight little touch of the yellow ochre, just to mix it a bit. And that's pretty dark. I think we've got a bit of a sheen and a bit of light from the camera there. It's not working too well. We'll just try another light. See if that helps to take that sheen off. And then, rather than using the brush, finally, I will show you the tissue technique. So it's quite dry tissue, any tissue will do. But if we kind of get it all crinkled a bit and not too precise about it, and we're just going to dab in once. So we said the light was coming through, but we could have this part here on the left hand side in the shadow. And you see it's just taking out some of the pigment there, perhaps just off the top. And that's probably about it. Quite like the idea of keeping this quite light here and that quite light there. Light against dark always works. It's called counter change, light against dark. So we've used the tissue just to take out, because the pigment had blended back in again, if you notice. So, and this is just, the great thing about tissue is when it's scrunched up, it can create sort of textures. You can see here that this paint is what they call granulating, so the tooth, this is a rough paper, is holding more of the pigment inside the dips in the paper, and then the actual tooth is rising up, and it's nice, got a nice effect here as well. So, there you go. I will get back and do a different approach another time with this other painting, but for the first part of this video, I'm keeping these videos short, under 15 minutes. Remember to subscribe, remember to share the videos around, and keep watching for more content. Take care now, and great painting.